Alright guys, so we've just finished the ECB press conference, and this was the big market moving event for the day that we were waiting for. Riveting stuff as always. And this was obviously the first ECB meeting and monetary policy statement following the strategy review that took place last week, which we covered on this channel, you may remember. As expected, there weren't any changes to interest rates or asset purchases at the moment, but the more important thing from this meeting was the change to their forward guidance. Mainly the wording at the end, which suggested that the ECB is expecting inflation to overshoot their 2% target, but in line with what all major central banks are saying at the moment, they think it will only be transitory. So this isn't such a surprise. It kind of falls in line with what we've been hearing from the bank recently anyway, and in line with what we're thinking as well. As we shared earlier in the week, we did a detailed video on inflation, which you'll find linked up here. It was mainly focused on the US, but we also touched upon the Eurozone and the UK as well. So if you want to understand what's going on there, click the link, check out that video. Now, in the follow-up speech, Christine Lagarde did say that although inflation is at 1.9% at the moment, this is being driven particularly by oil prices, so energy costs, and also the situation with German VAT. Obviously, they had the cut last year, and that's being added back on. So as time goes on, she said that these will fade out of the year-on-year inflation readings in the medium to long term. So inflation is still forecasted to be below the target. And really, the bank is only concerned about durable 2% or above inflation. It can fluctuate temporarily above and below without any action being taken, but it can't be below 2% for rates to rise. So even if no action is taken, the market may start to expect tightening will take place if inflation does now move above that target, even if the ECB continues to downplay it. Now, the economy is still on track for strong growth in Q3, but risks do still remain, with the big one at the moment being the Delta variant of COVID and supply issues at the moment. So at the moment, monetary policy tightening isn't that much of a concern for the ECB, but the September meeting is the big one. That's when we expect that discussions will begin around tapering. At the moment, their emergency bond purchases are set to run through March 2022, but buying could start slowing down in October and end as planned. And since Europe's recovery is well underway, it's unlikely that they would look to expand and extend the program. Now, in terms of the technicals, I did a 4.5 hour live stream yesterday for our members, so if you remember, check that out because we were really following Euro closely. But this is the weekly chart here. You can see we've sort of stalled out at a higher low, and it's this sort of structure here, this previous low from around March, I think it was, that the price is really struggling at. We actually closed as a type 2 last week on that trend line. Now we've had a type 1 move off that swing low, so it's looking like a pretty good situation at the moment, a nice platform for the price there. In terms of the daily chart, you can see we actually end up with a double confirmation, only with a logical range yesterday, so not a confirmed one. But yesterday during that live stream, we were actually looking here at the hour chart, and I know it looks a bit messy with the levels we've got here, but we were looking for long trades in this area here. There was actually a long trade at 9 o'clock in the morning UK time picked up by our members. But now it's broken through that trend line. We've got the higher highs, higher lows. It's looking like a switch towards bullish structure. So any pullbacks, trading those higher lows, we'll be looking for that. And we'll see if it can break through this, which was the previous lower high on the way down. If it can break that and retest from the other side, that could be also an interesting area to look for entries. I think with these lows now, we can add unconfirmed trend line along there. So it's a really decent market to be focusing on just for the rest of this week, which is only tomorrow. So check this one out for the rest of your trading sessions today and tomorrow, if I can get my words out clearly for the end of this video. If you want to understand more about how I trade with the Duomo method, check out the free training. It's linked in the description box. Hit the like button if you like these little updates, follow the news and the charts, and leave your thoughts below in the comment section. I really appreciate you watching. Take care, and I will see you in the next one. Bye, guys.